What are your thoughts on Miraculous Ladybug? Miraculous, Tales of Ladybug and Chat Noir. Cat Noir, I'm sorry. My bad. I used to watch the Portuguese dub on YouTube in 24 parts. Miraculous came out when I was 12 years old in 2015, and it's been a parasite in my brain ever since. Don't get me wrong, there's still a lot of media from my childhood that I still hold near and dear to my heart, but Miraculous is one of those that you can't even defend. Because how do I explain to somebody that the show is actually really good if you just unfocus your eyes and just imagine what it could be? Because I swear, this show has some of the most compelling and thought-provoking themes, and it does nothing with it. And I can rant forever about the plot holes, and the characters, and the inconsistent character arcs, and the weird magical system, and the way it handles diversity, and the fact that it's just kinda ugly. This show thrives purely on the potential that it has. Every single person in this fandom just maladaptive daydreams about what this show could be instead of what it actually is. And the character that shows this the most is our protagonist. What do you think about Marinette Duping Chang? As someone who's been watching Miraculous Ladybug since the beginning, all I can say about Marinette is that she's always had potential. She's always been a character that I thought was really good under all the weird writing that the show gives her. Marinette, please. Marinette, this isn't you. Stop stalking him. But one thing that I've always been confused about is her costume design. Because what is that? When you look at fan art of her, the entire fandom seems to be in denial of how she actually dresses. They always give her some nice crop top or a nice dress or something cool. But in reality, she's just...
Ugh. Brother, ugh.
You'd think that the fashion designer characters would have better outfits, but I guess not. It's like when you write a character... Okay, I forgot I wrote this part. It's like when you write a character with a high intelligence, but you do not have a high intelligence. The show seems to be fighting tooth and nail just to convince you that this is peak fashion. Now, I don't know if this is controversial, but if you look up Paris pink polka dot theme, you'll find Marinette's entire wardrobe. And I swear I'm not a Marinette hater. I've just felt this way about her clothes since I was 12 years old, okay? So, just for fun, let's fix her. Marinette Duping Chang. She's a normal girl with a normal life. But there's something about her that no one knows yet, because she has a secret. Although Marinette's style is a mess, it's a pretty distinct mess. Although I wanted to change her design, I still wanted it to feel like Marinette. I tried to brainstorm things that would realistically inspire her. She's a teenager, so she's probably influenced by trends, and doesn't have the money for expensive brands. And she's a designer, so she probably customized her own clothes. But at like a teenage level. I decided to look at some fashion subgenres to see if I can get a lead on anything. Her style is obviously really girly, but also weirdly formal, like in a 50s poodle skirt costume type of way. I first tried looking at Coquette, but even though it was really cute, it was a little bit too modern, and I knew something needed to be added to give that Marinette factor. I also looked at clothes from when Miraculous first came out, 2015. Oh god. I looked up mid-2010s fashion and oh, that's why she has a blazer. I could see the inspiration, but it didn't feel like Marinette yet. If anything, it felt more like Max Caulfield from Life is Strange. The answer seemed so familiar, but still so far. So I decided to take a break and watch some YouTube. I watched my favorite YouTuber, Sophia Fan, and she just posted a new video. I was watching it, and that's when I realized Marinette is styled just like Zooey Deschanel. Zooey Deschanel is an American actress and musician who has a very distinct twee fashion. At first I thought it was a little bit neat that their style was kind of reminiscent of each other, but then I kept on looking and I realized that some of them were near identical to each other. To the point where I think that Zooey Deschanel had to be on one of the mood boards that they had when designing Marinette. Marinette has a cute twee fashion sense with a lot of black, white, and pink, so I just need to make a few drawings with that idea. I made a mood board with a bunch of twee fashion ideas and made some drawings off of that. I ended up with 16 designs, my favorites being 9, 12, and 16. But I wasn't quite sure how good they were, so I just let my Instagram decide. Follow my Instagram, by the way. The winners ended up being 3 with 72 votes, 7 with 38 votes, and 9 with 52 votes. And thank goodness, because 9 was my favorite. And don't worry if you're not happy with these winners, because I saw a few comments saying that it would be a cool idea if Marinette cycled through her outfits throughout the show, like in Star vs. the Forces of Evil. And I love that idea. I'm putting it in the brain log now. Anyways, I made some final versions of the winning drawings. In the first drawing, she has a fuzzy sweater and leg warmers. And I love how the matching fabric kind of alludes to the idea that she made them at the same time. She might have planned it all out in her sketchbook, or maybe she just had some leftover fabric that she decided to use. She has her iconic ponytails, but decorated with some hair clips. She also has a bag that she's embroidered some details into. Here she has a little bit of her flower motif, as well as a ladybug and a cat, which is not that subtle, if I'm honest. And lastly, she has some jean shorts that I think make her look really cool and casual, like she's gonna go take a walk. to the Eiffel Tower. Altogether, I think it makes a really cute outfit for Marinette. She looks so fun and expressive, like she's experimenting more with her style. The next design has her with her hair down. Oh my god. I think it's a cute idea that Marinette does different hairstyles from time to time. I mean, the pigtails are definitely iconic, but also kind of boring. Also, this is my maladaptive daydream, and I choose the hairstyle. So, she has a cute little bob with some bangs. Bob with bangs. She has a pink striped shirt with a white undershirt, which is just a cute layering idea. And she has an overall dress with some pink flower details. Maybe in the beginning, the dress was just one solid color. And after some time, it gets a hole or two that she learns to patch up. And time goes on and she just keeps adding and adding to this dress until it eventually becomes her own custom design. I don't know, I think it's a cute idea. And to top it off, she has some cute ballet flats and some tights, which I think is very Marinette. Altogether, I really love this design. I think it makes her look really playful and creative. Like she might wear this to a picnic or a field trip to the Eiffel Tower. For this last design, she has a big pink sweater with a flower graphic in front of it. She probably bought it at the store. I don't know, they can't all be inspirational, guys. She has her hair down, and on top of her head, she has a slouch beanie. Maybe she crocheted it or something. She's also holding a bag that has a subtle Cat Noir merch. I'm thinking the fluff ball has a bell inside of it, so you can hear her as she moves around. She also has a black pleated skirt just to finish off her color palette. And to finish it off, she has some frilly socks and some Doc Martens. I know I said that she wasn't gonna have any expensive brands, but let's be honest. Her parents own a bakery in the middle of Paris. They're making bread, I fear. All in all, I think this outfit's pretty cute. It's definitely giving Mabel vibes, but I'm able to live with that. She looks like she got dressed up for a cute date, or just to hang out with friends at a very important French landmark, the Louvre Museum. Looking at all three designs, I feel like this is the Marinette that I want to see in the show. In this hypothetical version of the show, I think I'd like her to be more 16 to 17 as opposed to 13 to 14. I still want it to be like a coming of age show. Some of the things that happen to Marinette is just not believable for a 13-year-old. Plus, when I was 13, I did not dress this well. You might have also noticed that this version of Marinette doesn't have her blue hair. I know that the blue hair is a reference to the way that comics shade the color black, but even then they're doing it wrong. Because in comics they used blue to represent the shine, and it only made sense because the shadows were black. Otherwise, it just looks like they have blue hair. It just doesn't make any sense in the 3D animation, and it looks especially jarring when she's standing next to her mom, who has regular black hair. So in my version, she's just gonna have regular black hair, because she's just a normal girl with a normal life, and she doesn't have blue hair growing out of her scalp. I'm sorry, I'm really passionate about this.
Now, if you follow my Instagram, you might have noticed that I did a secondary poll to pick between the 3 winners of the Marinette redesign. In that poll, I claimed that I was going to do a surprise recreation of the winning design. In this, I intended to make an actual animated version of Marinette in 3D. I did all the steps, I made a little turnaround of her, I made it look all nice and good. And then I realized how hard it is to 3D model. I was so cocky, opening up Blender, learning how to make a little donut, thinking that that would be enough for me to make an entire animated character. I was quickly humbled. I made a few pathetic attempts before I eventually gave up and opened up Nomad Sculpt. And it took some work, but eventually I made this. In Nomad, it didn't look too bad, but when I opened up in Blender, it was so ugly. I very obviously don't know what I'm doing, so I decided to take a break. But the idea of trying again was just so daunting. It was to the point where I was willing to just pay for a commission. I knew it was going to be pretty expensive, but I figured I can just save up a commission or two and use that money to pay for this 3D model. So I asked my friend about it, and they informed me that 3D models actually cost a lot more than I was thinking, which of course they do. They're so hard to make. They're not going to be $60. I felt so embarrassed. I did not know what I was thinking. So I can't afford to commission somebody to make me a 3D model. So I'm just back to doing it on my own. I was still planning on using the original model that I made, even though it's ugly. Like, this is my first 3D model. What do you expect? But apparently I made it so badly that Blender would crash as soon as I tried to put bones on it. And for a while, I really couldn't figure out why, until I saw her wireframe. So this is what a wireframe is supposed to look like. Got it? Okay. Now this is the wireframe that my model has. Can't see it? Okay, let me zoom in. Her wireframe was so compact. There was so much information that even when she was zoomed in, she looked like a solid gray.
There was no saving her. I had to just start over. But I didn't know how. Making donuts in Blender wasn't helping me at all. I didn't need to be a professional in Blender. I just need to make a cute character. I don't want something super complicated and detailed, just something that won't blow up my computer. And I guess YouTube heard me, because then I saw this. This animation was made by Prechu on YouTube. I absolutely fell in love with the style and looked on their channel to see if they had any tutorials. They don't, but they did have a few time lapses. I tried to just watch closely at 0.5 speed, hoping that I would maybe figure out what they're doing. I couldn't. But I saw that they kept on using the word low poly, and I just ran with that. Eventually, I found this playlist by Crashsuni Academy, and it was just a tutorial of exactly what I wanted to do. It was so perfect. Thank you so much. And I appreciate them the normal amount. So I didn't really record the process of this, but I do have a few clips. Here I was nearly done with the tutorial and I realized I should probably record this. This is how my workspace looked the whole time, just switching back and forth between the video and Blender. I was really proud of how the UV unwrapping was going, if you couldn't tell. The playlist didn't have a rigging tutorial yet, so this is me trying to figure it out on my own. And that wasn't working, so I just found a website that does it automatically, I guess. And it works great. Look at her go. So this is my imaginary version of Marinette. She's just a normal girl with a normal life. She's clumsy, anxious, but still extremely kind, with a strong sense of justice. She's a bit unlucky, but she doesn't let that stop her, because her creativity can find her way out of any problem. Or so she thinks. She's a bit of a control freak, and feeling like the fate of Paris is on her shoulders doesn't really help. Which is why her story is mainly about trust, friendship, and family. She learns that her tendency to do everything on her own often gets her into more trouble, and it's only when she allows herself to trust other people where things actually get done. But can she really trust anybody with her big secret? I don't know yet. I guess I'm just gonna have to think about it for a little while longer. And that's it. I know it sounds crazy, but this video was actually 3 years in the making. The original idea was just to make a ladybug design that was better than the show. Because I have a lot of opinions on Ladybug's hero design. Like seriously, the fashion designer character that has magic and could create any design that she wants chooses that? But anyways, it took me forever to make an actual hero design that I liked. And after that, I was like, am I really gonna put this hero design in this show? I have to change a little bit more. And as time went on, I had a bunch of ideas for Marinette, for Chloe, for Alia, for Adrian, for Gabriel, for everyone, to the point where I'm like, wow, I'm just rewriting the show now. And I haven't even talked about how I changed the magical system. I have so much to talk about. It's crazy how much a bad show can inspire you. Hello? Oh, hello? Hello, hello? Minecraft, wait, no.